So how'd you spend your weekend? Me? Well, just trying to save a vintage Porsche from being crushed. That's right. Just trying to bite off a few more big pieces of this steak that I'm trying to eat by myself. We're going to get this thing whipped. Here I'm going to go ahead and cut out the last piece of rust on the main part of the body. You can go ahead and make this panel and get it fixed and welded in, and get the bracket that holds the front fender on the passenger side welded back on. Sit back and enjoy a long weekend of saving a vintage Porsche 911 from being crushed. If y'all can remember back 6-7 months ago when I bought these fenders, I got them from a Porsche warehouse that sells used parts. Now, if you know anything about Porsches, these fenders are about $2,500 new from Porsche. And even the aftermarket fenders that fit perfect are in the thousands, $1,500, $2,000 or so. I paid $300 a piece for two fenders. That's $600 plus a little bit of shipping, only to get fenders that had been run over by a forklift. They both had been run over by a forklift and a pallet had dropped on them. They weren't in that great a shape before they dropped a pallet on them, but it crushed both fenders, pushing this all the way in to the other side. I took my time. Well, I bought them because I needed this section and I needed the headlight sections, and they valued them at $300 a piece plus shipping. That was pretty decent for just the parts that I needed. But what I did, I took my time. I waited till I was stress-free, and I dollied the fenders back out. If they can get crushed one way, then they could get crushed back the other way, is what I felt. So that's what I did. And now, with just a skim coat, I'm going to be able to use these fenders without having to do any kind of welding or any kind of repair work. So I'm going to go ahead and skim coat the areas. And then we'll come back and we'll sand these down again and continue to skim coat them until they're perfect. All right, I think we worked that too far. That last little bit may have to be sanded back off. All right, so unlike the other fender, I got this one a little bit closer with the dolly. And I'm just going to go down through here and circle some spots that I know I need to hit it with a filler. I'll dolly that out and make it a lot less time consuming. All this right here got pushed in all the way back to here. I thought I was going to save a little bit, but it's best to go ahead and just skim coat this fender too. All right, let me mix up another batch. We'll get after it. Man, I would give anything if I could actually work this fast right here. I would have 1 day worth of work and 6 days worth of weekends. Well, this is only really taking a skim coat. I know it's hard to believe, but that is about as thick as a business card or a credit card. We're going to get this worked out, let that dry, and we'll sand it. Meanwhile, let's jump over here to the quarter panels. Let's go ahead and knock off any fingerprints, surface rust that may have accumulated since they've been sanded down, and just get them all dressed and get them ready to take the filler. And remember, after I TIG welded these quarter panel flares on, I went ahead and used some panel bond to go over the weld. Now, the panel bond is what most cars are glued together with these days. That stuff is hard. It's never gonna let loose, and it just fills in all those little voids where the TIG welder, may have left a small pinhole or something. Then over that, we went ahead and used the body filler, and now here I am sanding the first body filler down. What I'm doing is I'm using a really thick, soft interface pad with some 80 grit on it, and that's just allowing me to go faster. The final sanding will be done by hand on the final part of it, but this helps me knock down that filler really quick. Now, there's a little bit of warping and stuff in some areas. Not bad, but anytime you're welding a smooth surface like that, it's going to get warped up a little bit with a little bit of heat. It's a dirty job. Let's mask up and start sanding. All right, so you caught me a little late in the game. I've already started stripping all the wiring out from underneath the boot or the front of the 911. We're gonna go ahead and weld in one last panel for the suspension. We're gonna get this hood out of the way, and then we're gonna start pulling all the stuff out from behind the dash. I need a little bit of help, so the pretty little lady came out to help me. Man, I don't know what I'd do without her. Let's go ahead and remove the rest of the heater ducts and the blower motor and all that stuff out from behind the dash, and remove the rest of the wiring, because when we paint this, we want to make it look like we've never been here and that it was never the color that you see it is right now. We want it to look like a completely restored, professionally done car, but on a budget, and I mean a tight budget. Wow, what a Friday. I am wore out. Been working on this old Porsche all day long, trying to make some room, make some progress. Get ready to paint all up inside of here the new body color like I did the trunk. This is the trunk, like I did the engine compartment out back. Get it all detailed out, get it back wiring, and hopefully maybe get it running. And then I'll put then I'll do the rest of the body work and paint it. I'm really, really, really excited about getting this thing back on the road in any kind of condition. But anything that I'm touching, I'm trying to make very, very nice. Not perfect. This is a budget, just trying to make it nice. So to paint the engine compartment and to paint up under the hood, I think I spent $50 on some paint and materials. And then you got all this labor. So I'm going to go back and tidy up the wiring, tidy up any kind of rubber gaskets and stuff, get it really detailed underneath there, paint the new gas tank, get it all in, get it wired and plumbed, and get this old Porsche back on the road. Enough of me jabbling. Let's get busy. So after about 4 hours of doing this kind of stuff all day long, I'm wore out. What started out as a quick, easy project escalated into almost a full-blown restoration of this 911. Now I'm kind of doing it on a budget. Some of the Porsche guys are just totally upset. But hey, I'm not going to spend $100 grand to restore this Porsche and get out there and bang the gears as hard as I want to bang it. I plan on taking this thing to the track. I plan on driving it across country. It's not going to be a trailer queen, and it's definitely not going to be sitting in the garage not getting used. You guys know me. If I'm going to work this much on a car, I'm going to get out there and enjoy it. So I've got wire brushes, thanks to Benchmark Abrasives. These wire brushes, wire wheels are really knocking down all the grime. I've still got a long ways to go. Got 2 more pieces to weld in up front. And then I'm going to go ahead and seam seal areas that I've taken off the seam seal. Get some more of this stuff out of the way. Get everything masked off. And we're going to paint the inside of here. So we'll paint the outside when we do the body. Now while this guy's making all the noise, let me just tell you what he's doing. He's getting up in there where it's hard to get with a wire brush, around some round objects and around where some of the heater vents and stuff poke in and out from under the dash. Just going ahead and scuffing it up, getting rid of all the dirt and debris that's built up over the years. By doing that, loosening that stuff up, we'll blow it out, vacuum it out, and then that way we can wipe it down with a wax and grease remover. With these fine wire wheels like this, it's a lot less abrasive to the undercoating that's on the body that was provided by Porsche back in the day. That stuff is tough as nails, and if you disturb it, you're in trouble. So hey, if you like vintage Porsches, raise your hand. Give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. This is going to be a cool hot ride. I know it's not a 32 Ford, but hey, I love these cars just as much. I love these cars almost as much as a 32 Ford. And I really want to drive this thing bad. Right now, I'm going ahead and the only thing left on the front end on the suspension is the rack and pinion. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the rack out now and go ahead and paint the steering linkage, rebuild the rack, and go ahead and put the turbo tie rod ends on it and get it ready to go back in with the suspension cradle. I just got these Allen bolts out that hold the rack in, and I got the bolt out with the steering joint. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it and see if I can't get something to pry it apart just a little bit to where it'll fall out. All right, so you had to remove this cover right here, that duct, what I thought was a ductwork, but it's not. It's just a cover that covers up the steering, which allows me to get in here to the steering joints. Went ahead and took the bolt out of here, took the 2 bolts out of here. I'm gonna rotate this around and see if I can't spread this joint apart just a little bit and maybe squirt some Wellsworth rust buster down in there and get it moving. May take more than that. Thunderbolt penetrating oil. Thanks, Wellsworth. You've ever seen this stuff before? It's not like your typical penetrating oil. This actually foams up and stays in place. And it stays there and goes down where it needs instead of blowing off and running off. So if you haven't ever checked on this stuff, Wellsworth Car Care Products, they have a complete line. You've got to check this stuff out. It works great. I'm gonna let that penetrate around in there, relieve some of that. We'll see if we can't bust it loose. There we go. It wasn't that much of a fall. Besides, my foot caught it. Ouch. I'm sure a lot of the guys on here think that this thing looks like a turd. It is in really, really good shape for a Porsche and not in really bad shape at all. You've been with me through the whole process. We have replaced every little piece that was rusty on this car except for this piece right here that you guys helped me make. It goes right here. And then the bottoms of the doors. That's all we have left. I know it looks like it's rusty, but it's not. It's just the color of the car, dirt, etc. No, I'm not using a toothbrush. This is a wire brush. All I'm trying to do is loosen up the dirt where we can blow it out. I'll go back over it again. Go get what I missed. And then we'll degrease it, and then I'll wipe it down several times with the wax and grease remover. I'm gonna undercoat the new panels that we put in, and the undercoating that I'll be using is the Raptor liner. It's paintable. So I'll get that. It'll have the same texture as Porsche had on all this stuff that you see that has texture under the car and in the under the car and in the inner fender wells. And then there's some that goes around this area right here where the gas tank is. So I'm gonna blow this all in and then probably slick it, find a line to make it slick, and it'll be slick all the way up and all the way back. We're gonna cover this again. You know, we're gonna make panels and do a inner area, boot area, where it's really clean and sterile and you won't be able to see any of this stuff anyway. But I know it's there. You're seeing it right now. So it's important for me to satisfy myself and get it as clean as possible. It's not costing me any money. It's just costing me time. And hey, look, I'm 60. I got all the time in the world, right? All right, let me get back to work. I hope I can figure out where all those wires go. All right, I believe that's where I'm gonna leave you guys for today. It's been a long day. I didn't film a lot of it, but hey, what did you do today at work? Yep, I got to play with cars. As always, thanks for watching. I sure appreciate you. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's free, you know. Hit the like button. That stuff helps me out tremendously. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. I used so many Benchmark abrasive products today and Wellworth products today that I'm about to have to reorder. So as always, thanks for watching. Now get out in the garage and go build something. Enjoy your weekend, guys. See you on the next episode.